Now, before we start, please help the channel out and just like and subscribe down there. It takes just a few seconds and it helps me out a lot. These were the shoes that I used to love to use in school. Man, I went through a ton of these, wore them down quite a bit. I've had plenty of different colors and they were just my favorite. These were always flat-footed shoes. There was no arch support in these. So maybe that's why I prefer the flat foot shoe. I was never much of a Nike guy. That's why maybe these are my favorite shoes to wear. Altra. So we're going to talk about Altra, how great they are, how comfortable, how light, and I mean, using them for camping or just hiking, they're just the best shoes I've found. And they're flat-footed. So let's get into it. Okay, first of all, let's start off by saying I am not sponsored. I paid for all these shoes with my own money. Nobody gave me anything. I didn't get any discounts. So everything I'm going to say is just me, just honest, just my honest review. So let's talk about all these shoes now. First off, I have a ton of these. I have the sixes. This is my second pair of the sixes. I have the hiking boots. I have these, which are more of a casual wear. I have the 8s, the Lone Peak 8s. Then I also have the Lone Peak 9s, I believe these are. These are the 9s with a waterproof. So I have a ton of stuff. Let me tell you what I love about them. As I mentioned, they're flat-footed. So growing up using these, they just felt normal to me. They felt great. The other thing is traction on them is great outdoors. So I've climbed a ton of stuff and I've had no problems with these, except for one thing, which I'll get into. The other really great thing is weight. These things are so light. And the cushion inside is perfect. It's just so good. You do feel a lot of rocks when you step over things with this because they're so light and thin, but the cushion inside of them is just, it's great. So let's talk about a few things about these, starting with weight. So I have these Brooks shoes. They're supposed to be like the ultra light Brooks shoes. I'm not a fan of these. They are 10¼ ounces. Low top Chuck Taylors, 12 ounces. High top or mid top Chuck Taylors, if I can get this to work, 12¾ ounces. 11 ounces. 12½ ounces. 11½ ounces. 14¼ ounces. Okay, now let's look at some hiking boots. These used to be my favorite hiking boots, the Keens. Let's weigh these. So this is 1 pound, 3 ounces. My current hiking boots, (13¼ ounces. It doesn't seem like a whole lot, but just a few ounces after about 5 to 10 miles, especially on those long hikes, like 15 to 20, makes a huge difference. So super, super light, yet more comfortable in my opinion than these. The only downside to all these shoes is really the styling. A lot of times they'll have like great colors, but they'll add like a real bright color, or they'll make colors that make no sense, like these. These are the new ones. I don't know why. They always like add a decent color and then just ruin it. Fire your designers, Altra. Fire them. I just like a plain and simple shoe. You know, this is not bad. Brown and orange is actually pretty neat. And then finally this year, they started making normal colors, just gray with dark gray. Finally this year on the 9s. Some of the things I really like about these Altra shoes, like I said, I do a ton of outdoor stuff. So a lot of hiking, backpacking, camping. So some of the great things about them is just that, number one, they're super light. So you can carry these along with something else for water crossing, and it's just so light. The traction is unlike anything else I've ever had. They're great when you're climbing rocks and stuff like that. I've had no problem slipping. One of the reasons I don't use the Brooks is I actually had them for a while and I slipped on rocks all the time. So I actually sprained my ankle. Got rid of those, went back to these, have had no problem since. So they're great with traction. The only thing that takes a little while to get used to is this little flap on the back. When you first buy some of these and you haven't used them before, this little track in the back, it sticks out about a ½ inch or so. You know, you kind of step on the back when you're stepping down the stairs, you kind of hit that and it'll mess you up. So it takes a little getting used to. The other great thing about them is they all actually have this Velcro here. And that is to actually buy the piece that goes on top so you can kind of cover your feet in case you're crossing grass and stuff where you don't want spikes or sand and stuff to get in. So that's pretty great. Same sole on all of them. So I've had nothing but great stuff with these. Now, the older version, these are the 6s. With these, I've never had any issues with traction. These are older as well, so I've never had any issues. Some of the newer ones, like this, when I got to the 8s, for some reason, I had a little issue with traction on tile. You walk into a bathroom and there's plenty of water on the floor. These slip really easy. Was not a fan of that. The 9s with the waterproofing are quite a bit better. And as a matter of fact, they are actually waterproof. Check this out. I'm able to go right into the water. And this actually goes all the way up to about the laces. And water is just not seeping in. If I'm just standing there, not moving, the water just does not go in. Not at all. However, when I move my feet a little too much, you'll start to notice the color changing. So that kind of tells me that the water is starting to absorb through the material. So if you're just kind of wading through water, walking through it, a river here and there, you're probably going to be completely fine. They're not meant to be, worn inside water, obviously, but they hold up really well. After this, my feet were completely dry. Now, as I mentioned, some of the reasons why I like these, they're flat. But the other reason is all of them have a wide toe box. I don't know about you guys, but my feet are kind of fat, so this is perfect. Every other shoe that I've ever had, especially when you're hiking, I've had issues where it kind of starts hurting on the sides of my feet. I've had no issues with this, and you can actually get them even wider. Where that really makes a difference is when you're climbing down a hill and your feet sprawl to kind of stop you from falling. Huge difference between this and like Brooks or something else. I am a huge fan of these. So, short video. I just wanted to show you guys what I like to use when I'm outdoors. I am a huge fan of these. As I mentioned before, I've tried the Brooks. I've tried several other shoes, but I just didn't like them, especially when you're really hiking on the rough terrain, downhill. Like I said, your feet sprawling. There are so many reasons to like these shoes. The weight is just can't beat it. They do flex quite a bit over time. You will start to see some, use. You'll start noticing quite a bit. But some of the older ones, they didn't show too much. I'm really hoping these don't show at all either. Regardless, they're just super comfortable. And because they're super comfortable, I wanted to wear them all the time. And that's why I got the more casual Alpines. But like I said, I've tried several shoes. I've twisted ankles, had no traction. I've had tons of issues. I've tried the Adidas. I've tried all kinds of outdoor shoes. These, they just work. So the Altra is my choice on outdoor shoes. I'm curious on what you've tried. Have you tried these? And what do you like better? Let me know in the comments. What do you prefer? Like I said, this is my choice. What do you like? So I'm going to be doing a little update on these. I'm going to go out to the snow, try that out, see how that works out. So I will be doing an update to this video. Keep an eye out for it. We'll see you later.